Believe it or not, All-Star Weekend was not that bad. You know, the All-Star Weekend in the NBA has been a topic of debate for a while now of whether or not just to cancel the whole damn thing because it's gotten really boring, at least the main game, you know? It's been a lot of stars who don't really look like they give a fuck. They're just there because they got invited and they're an all-star. But it doesn't look like they actually care about actually playing the game. I get it in a way. These guys care about the season. They care about playoffs. They care about, not getting injured. But also, come on, man. The All-Star game has been like a staple of the NBA for so long. The All-Star game at least has always been better than the Pro Bowl for a long time now. At least the NBA had that over the NFL. But the All-Star game the past, I don't even know, what, decade? Maybe not. I can't remember. I'm like trying to think back to 2013, I think it was, when LeBron and Kobe, one of those last years of Kobe being in the league, just going back and forth. It was a fun game, Melo, LeBron, KD, Kobe. It was great. It was great. It was like the early years of Kyrie. And ever since then, we just really haven't had the same thing. It's gotten to a point where they were scoring like 200 points before the game was even over, like close to being over with. It was insane. And they literally went out there and just did not give a shit. They just didn't give a shit. And it was a joke now to just go there and just basically do nothing. I don't know. As a fan, we want to watch the best players in the league go all out against each other. So the NBA has been trying to find a way to bring that back. They were like paying the guys, bonuses. And I'm not even going to lie to you. I really haven't been watching the All-Star game much lately, like the past few years. But I decided, why not watch it this weekend? See how it is. Kind of give a little recap of the whole thing. It started off on Friday night. Well, they had like a creator cup, like a YouTuber. I'm not even sure who exactly. It was just a creator cup on Thursday night, I'm pretty sure. I don't even know what went down with that. I didn't pay attention to it. But whoever won, congratulations. So the actual NBA stuff started on Friday night. It was the Rising Stars game, which I've always liked the Rising Stars game. I actually went to one back when it was in New Orleans in 2014. And it was really fun, man. It was a fun game. Who was it that year? I think it was Tim Hardaway and, man, I can't remember who it was. That Tim Hardaway, I'm pretty sure it was Tim Hardaway and someone else. They were going back and forth. And KD was like standing up, hyping him up. They were just 3 for 3. It was awesome. And that night, Andre Drummond won the MVP. And I have a story about Andre Drummond that made me not like him ever again because of the next day. Whatever. I'm not going to get into it. Andre Drummond, you know what you did. You probably don't. You probably have no clue that you don't even remember that day, most likely, but I remember it. So they kind of changed up the Rising Stars game since then. It used to be just the sophomores versus the freshmen, but then now it's 4 teams, like different drafts, and then they have a G League team. So basically it was Austin Rivers, Carmelo, Vince Carter, T-Mac. They have the coaches of the teams, the coaches, they kind of drafted their own team. They, went up against each other and they're like a little tournament bracket. It was pretty fun. I won't lie. Those 4 had some good, good banter going back and forth. T-Mac and Vince, the cousins, they were going back and forth. It was a great time. Game 1, it was Melo's team versus Austin's team. The G League team Austin had. It was a close game, and then Melo's team looked like they were gonna kind of run away with it. Donovan Clingan was balling at first. Noah Eagle's mic was messed up a little bit. It's kind of muffled. I guess all the commentators were, but they were kind of low compared to the game. I don't know. It's a little thing that I noticed watching it. It was kind of muffled. They fixed it later in the broadcast, though. Jan Hansen, dude, boy was balling. It was fun, man. That was fun to watch. And then Reed Shepard just took over at the end of the game. I forgot how many threes he drained. I think it was 3 threes he had. Balling. It felt like Stephon Castle could have took over if he wanted to. He looked like he kind of was fucking around, but if he wanted to take over, he could. And then Dylan Harper versus brother. Last shot of the game. Dylan Harper drains it in his face. Cinema. Final score 40-34. Team Melo wins. Game 2. Vince versus Tracy, the cousins. They were just messing with each other. It was really fun. It was good. It was good energy. They were just messing around with each other the whole time. Good times. T-Mac made a joke like he was about to join the jump ball. It was so funny. I think he was genuinely serious too. They were just launching threes, dude. They were just launching threes. I'm not gonna lie, it was just a million threes. And then VJ Edgecombe, closed it out. He won the game for Vince's team. Final score 41-36. Game 3. Championship game. Vince versus Melo. Donovan Clingan was starting off hot again. Well, he's a big dude, man. They couldn't do anything against him. He was just dominating. As a Pelicans fan, it was fun to watch Derek Queen versus Jeremiah Fears. They didn't really do too much, but it was fun seeing them on the court against each other. And then the game ended on a VJ Edgecombe foul, or he got fouled, and he shot free throws to win the game. It was kind of whatever, bro, but you know what? Team Vince won. Overall, it was pretty intense play and like a fun time watching these games. I'm not gonna lie. Final score 25-24. I don't get why the championship game was a lower score than the other games. The other ones were 40. The championship was 25. I don't get that. I don't know if they have a reason for that. Why not make the championship game the one that goes higher? I don't know. That was the end of the Rising Stars game, though. They had a celebrity game, right? And I like the celebrity game. I'm a cheesy dude. I'm like a pretty big fan of All-Star Weekend for the most part. I've always liked all the little events going on. And I've always thought the celebrity game was pretty fun. Depending on who they get, then sometimes they get some fun celebrities. This year, though, tell me, why the hell was Taco Fall playing in a celebrity game? I don't understand it, dude. The man was a former player. He still plays in the Chinese league. Why is this man playing in a celebrity game? Played, I forgot how many seasons, what, 3 years, 4 years with the NBA? It's just unfair. It was unfair. I never even, okay. So I couldn't find the game to watch, like the actual full game, because I watched it like after, and I thought maybe I could find it on something because Peacock had like all the rest of it. Could not find this game anywhere, man. I looked it up all over the internet. Could not find it. I had to watch like just the recap. The recap was basically more talking than the actual game. And I'm not gonna lie, Taco Fall, the man, was he 7'6"? I understand why he probably isn't in the NBA. Every time he'd get the ball, he'd take the ball, go down with it. They would swat it out his hands. I'm like, why are you letting these people, celebrities, like swat the ball at your hands, man? That's why you're not in the NBA, probably. At least a contributing factor. But my boy, Jeremy Lin, who also former NBA player, I'll give him a little bit of a pass because he's retired. Even though Jeremy Lin probably could still ball a little bit, man hit an 8-pointer to win the game or steal the game away at least. It was amazing. I love Jeremy Lin. I've always been a big Linsanity guy. Oh yeah, and they also had like a celebrity 3-point contest. I couldn't find that anywhere either. Jared McCain was in it. You know, NBA player Jared McCain. I guess they got the TikTok version of him. He was in the celebrity, 3-point contest. He won, of course. Caleb Williams came in thinking last. Quarterback for the Bears. Caleb, come on, man. But other than that, that was a celebrity game. It was whatever. It's just a celebrity game. It's not supposed to be a focal point of the weekend. On to Saturday night. I feel like a lot of people care more about Saturday night than they do Sunday. At least it used to be like that. I don't know anymore because the dunk contest, I'm going to get into that, but it's disappointing. Little sneak peek on my take. So we start off with the 3-point contest. Damian Lillard has never played a game all season, but he was in the 3-point contest. He didn't even win it last year. I would understand a little bit if he was like the defending champ, but he didn't even win it last year. And also, why is Bobby Portis in this thing, man? Bobby, what are you doing? The man had 15 points in the first round. He was the worst one, of course. I don't think anybody doubted that he was going to be the worst one. Tyrese Maxey and Jamal Murray were not too good either. I'm not going to lie. But let me tell you, that contest is still fun. I still love watching it. It is still hype. Knuppel, however you pronounce his name, Devin Booker and Dame. Man, Dame, I take back everything I said in the beginning of this little thing. You're welcome anytime. You're fun as hell to watch shoot threes, man. Dude, Devin Booker's jump shot, to me, is the best jump shot in the league. Maybe I'm just being a little hyperbolic because I just watched it, but damn, it's so pretty. But all three of them dudes were dogs. You know, they went to the final round, and I felt bad for Khan. He was like the first one to go. It looked like he probably was just got cold sitting on the bench, and he fell off in the end, man. I was kind of rooting for him, man. The rookie just kind of trying to get it, but couldn't do it. Dame was second. Dame lit it up. It was insane. Devin Booker went last, and man, he was one more money ball the end of the way from, I think he was either tying it or getting the lead, but he missed. It was so sad. But it was fun. It was a fun time. And then they had the Shooting Stars. So this is an event they brought back from, I forgot when they canceled it, like when they stopped doing it. They finally brought it back this year. They had celebrity guests as the passer with it was two. So it's 2 current NBA players, 1 legend, and 1 celebrity passer. Now look, Drewski was one of the passers. I don't think that man could ever be serious in his life because he's always trying to do a bit. And he was something. That's all I'm going to say. He was something. Team Knicks had Rick Brunson, Jalen's dad, as their passer. That's not fair. He was just throwing dimes, man. Dime. That's not fair. Hey, but Corey Maggette had 3 logo shots. Amazing to watch. It was actually pretty fun. I'm not going to lie. I had my doubts on it, but it was pretty fun. It was a pretty fun game. Team Knicks won, of course. Cat and Jalen Brunson was balling. Even Allen Houston was balling too. So Jalen and Rick Brunson going back and forth was pretty fun too. The main event of the night, at least for a lot of people, the dunk contest. It's a very controversial subject. A lot of people think it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. And I think some of that is because the hype of the contest makes every little dunk that's just not the most amazing thing in the world. Everyone's like, well, we've seen this a million times, so it's not special. And I get that. I truly get that. It's like, you got to be creative to keep like people engaged, because people don't want to see the same damn in between the legs dunk, even though it's insane to do. People don't want to see that over and over again. And it's okay for people to want you to be a little more creative. I think people though kind of now just hate on the contest automatically without even waiting to see what's going to be done. I feel like I'm a little bit biased to that too. Like I'm in my mind, I'm like, this is going to suck. But hey, some of the dunks weren't that bad. A lot of them are just overdone and they do the same thing over and over again. And there's a lot of creative dunks out there. What I feel like needs to happen is they need to get with those freestyle dunkers, and then they need to help them come up with something. They should each get like partnered up with a freestyle dunker, and then they could come up with a dunk together. I also think one of the biggest problems with the dunk contest is there's no star power usually. Nobody comes out for these things. Everybody talks about LeBron, get him for the dunk contest. Well, he's never done it. He never will do it because now he's 41 years old and he can barely jump off the freaking floor. That's a joke, by the way. LeBron can still dunk. It's just Father Time's finally catching up with him a little bit. I just think having no star power really hurts them. They don't have the names to back it up. Like the 3-point contest always has those names. They're talking about next year, Steph Curry's like, I'm getting all the band back together, man. We about to have a crazy ass 3-point contest. It's already gotten people hyped up for the 3-point contest next year. Dame, Steph. He said he's talking about Clay coming back. I think Clay can still do a 3-point contest. You know, Clay maybe is getting a little old, but he can still drain some threes. But on to the actual contest. The dunks were all right. You know, like they were just all right. Jackson Hayes' first dunk though was ass with a capital A. He was trying to do a, free throw line dunk. He kind of got caught. Don't know why he didn't pull back and then try it again, but he went for it and his foot was like halfway to the freaking rim when he jumped. I'm like, and he just does a dunk, and then you're just sitting here like, what? Okay. But the thing is, Dwight Howard, who was one of the judges, gave the man a 47 for that dunk. What the fuck, Dwight? Now, he did kind of make a little joke in the broadcast. They asked him, and he was like, I don't know what I was thinking. So, fair, but you gave him the points. I guess my thing with the dunk contest is that if, like, everyone in the NBA who can dunk can do these dunks, they're not special. Giannis Antetokounmpo was on the sideline judging them, being like, oh, that wasn't that good. I'm like, Giannis, you get up there yourself, man. You sitting there judging and shit. Fucking you do it. Everybody wants y'all to do this shit. All the stars are going to sit there and judge, be like, it was all right. Motherfucker, then you do better. But you won't. I'm not going to lie. All the dunks, anybody's played the 2K dunk contest, like on 2K, all the dunks they basically did in the first round were the easy ones, like the easy mode, the green ones or whatever. They were the fucking easiest ones. Jace Richardson was very close to having a good ass dunk. Very close. But he just couldn't get it. He couldn't get it, and it was still a great dunk what he did, but it was like overshadowed by the fact that he kept fucking up. The funny thing was, Jackson Hayes' first dunk, the one that was horrible, got a 44.6 on the score, and then Jace's second one, which I get it, he did it after fucking up a bunch, but he got a 43.4. Dude, there's no way that Jace's dunk was worse than Jackson's, man. And then your boy Johnson, who, look, man, I appreciate the energy, but those dance moves, damn, bro, calm down. That man wouldn't stop. And Johnson's first dunk of the second round was probably his best one. But Carter, let me just tell you, his first dunk of the second round was the best of the contest. It was the best of the contest. Because then Johnson's second dunk, yeah, he did like a windmill, but it wasn't even from the free throw line. He, again, tried to do it from the free throw line. Everybody loves to bring stuff from the free throw line because Zach LaVine kind of did it back when him and Aaron Gordon had the fucking greatest dunk contest in a long time. Probably, maybe ever, honestly. I might even say that. But he tried to do a windmill from the free throw line, and it was just ass. It wasn't even from the free throw line. It was just ass. And then my boy Carter could not get off his second dunk, dude. He could not get it off. And it's so sad because I genuinely think if he could have just got it off once, he would have won. And then he didn't know the rules at the time. Apparently, like, you could still get your dunk off. I get the announcers were kind of saying this. You could still get your dunk off even if the time ran out. He didn't know this, so he just threw up a dunk. A random ass dunk, and it didn't get him the great score. It just sucks, so he lost. I just think he should have won. He should have been the one to win. He was the best dunker there that night. It was kind of disappointing to not see him win, you know? The dunk contest, it needs work. It needs work. Like I said, my suggestion at the beginning, bringing in like a freestyle dunker to kind of help them come up with something, I feel like that might be one of the best ways to do it. And also trying to convince just some stars to do it. Like the 3-point contest, again, they have stars. The dunk contest has no one. They were all guys who are not household names. It's how it is. I will say though, overall, it was a fun 2 days. The dunk contest, probably the worst part about it. Not even gonna lie. The 3-point contest was fun. Shooting stars was even pretty fun. Celebrity game's a celebrity game. The last thing though is the main game itself. Was the All-Star game actually better? I think it was. I'm not gonna lie to you, the All-Star game was pretty fun. I don't know how I feel about the new formatting, doing it where it's like 3 teams and it's Team World and then 2 US teams. One of the things why I don't like about it is it feels like they're just forcing people to be All-Stars. So the All-Star game is like a better product maybe to watch, but the All-Star meaning doesn't really mean as much. I feel like when you're trying to just balance teams out. If you're just trying to balance out rosters, you're giving these All-Star call-ups to guys who might not have made the All-Star game, 10 years ago, but you need to account for the different teams, Team World and then having 2 US teams. So I think maybe that's the one part about it that I'm not too big of a fan of. The format itself, though, is pretty fun. They keep reiterating that the All-Star game is finally back on NBC, and I just think it's funny because I don't think anyone gives a single fuck. Like, I don't think anyone other than the NBC corporate cares. It was cool hearing the theme song, though. I'll give it to them. That was pretty fun. And man, that national anthem. I don't know what it is with All-Star games and national anthems, but they get the worst ones. I don't think it was as bad as Fergie's. And that's about as much as I'm going to say about it. And one more thing about the format. You can try as much as you want to spice it up and get the format right, but it is up to the players to give a fuck. It is up to them to give a shit and actually play the game. It doesn't matter how many times you change it. It all comes back to them. So, game 1, Stars versus World. Stars was kind of like presented as the youngins. Kind of funny to me. Devin Booker's on the team, 29 years old. Okay. The young guys they were the youngest team overall, but I don't know. It was kind of funny. Let me tell you, it was pretty funny watching Wemby versus Ant too in the jump off. Anthony Edwards tried. He tried. But Wemby it didn't work. Wemby, though, looked like he came to fucking play, man. He was going crazy. He had the energy, man. He was not there to fuck around. I'm going to tell you, though, Luka and Jokic looked like they didn't even care, man. I know that they have, like, injuries and stuff, and they only played, like, the first game for, like, 5 minutes and then never played again. They sat on the bench for the rest of the game. So I get it, man, but they look like they didn't care. But, dude, Cat started showing off. That man was draining threes from like the logo. It was crazy. I'll tell you, Jalen Johnson, I haven't paid too much attention to Jalen Johnson, but the dude was quietly showing out. But Wemby and Towns, man, them two came to play. It was fun. And the energy was there. The intensity was there. It was mainly because of Wemby. I think Wemby came out and was like, we're changing the game. This is going to be a fun game. And I think Anthony Edwards like took that energy. He was like, oh, we're playing. We're fucking playing, huh? Let's go. End of the game, Anthony Edwards came in, hit a big shot, tied it to 32, going to overtime. And the overtime rules is like the first to get 5 points, basically. Scotty Barnes, though, dagger 3 to win the game. Final score, 37-35 in overtime. Now, game 2. So Stars stood on because they won that game against World. Now against the Stripes, what they're calling the old heads, LeBron, KD, all the old people, Kawhi. It was good energy. Still good energy, solid game. Turnover started creeping up a little bit more than the last one, though. Kind of looked like they were being a little bit more careless. It wasn't until the end where it really started to pick up. Ant hit a move on KD, man. Looked like he was on skates, I'm not going to lie. And Anthony Edwards, after he hits that move against KD, steals the ball from Donovan Mitchell, goes down the court, drains a 3. But man, Stripes got the ball, go down the court. De'Aaron Fox wide open. I don't think he did anything else the whole game. Drain that 3 to win a game for the Stripes. Stripes win 42-40. Now we move on to game 3. Stripes versus World. Wemby does not want to lose these games. He looked like he was trying his ass off. But the vets were showing they still run this shit. Cat and Wemby were like the main carries for the World team, though. They were going off. Wemby mainly. It was mainly Wemby. He was not taking it. Wemby was just trying to win these games no matter what. But Kawhi Leonard, man, he just took over. He was just showing out for the home crowd. Kawhi looked like he cared more about this game than he ever did for the regular season, man. It looked like he was just having fun. And quick note, I cannot stand Şengün. That's just me. Sorry. Just had to put that out there. Kawhi and Wemby at one point was just going back and forth with each other. LeBron finally does something and gets a putback dunk to make him go up by 2. And then Kawhi hit a step back 3 to seal the game, man. Just an insane performance. The man had 31 of the 48 points for the team. Wemby misses a 3 to tie and they lose the game. But man, Wemby needs to hold his head up high because he brought back energy to the All-Star game. He was an integral part to why this game was actually so fun, why the weekend was fun. Final score for that game, though, 48-45. Stripes win it. World is now out. So game 4, Stars versus Stripes. The youngins versus the old heads. Dude, the Stars took off and got a 12-1 start. It was a massacre. It looked like that break that the Stars had really helped them out, and the Stripes looked like they were old and they were tired as shit. Side note though, why was Guy Fieri just sitting there with a cigar in his mouth? He can't smoke it in there. Was he trying to just aura farm? Like, what is he doing, man? I don't know. That was just so funny. He's just like sitting there with a cigar clapping, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? And just took over though, and they went up 26-9 at the halfway mark. Stripes really just used all their juice against the world team. Kawhi just was out. He was done. He was like, somebody else needed to take over, but nobody else did. Donovan Mitchell tried to kind of bring him back. He hit like 2 back-to-back threes, but Lee was too much at this point. The game was way less competitive than the other 3. It kind of looked like the old All-Star games with the lack of defense. But I think it was just mainly they were tired and they just been playing a bunch of games. And it felt like the lead just got out so big that they just didn't care at the end because there was no chance of coming back. The final score of that game, though, was 47-21 with the Stars winning it. And then Anthony Edwards got MVP. Overall, I think it was a pretty good All-Star weekend, man. I think it was a pretty fun time. I think if you were there, you probably had a lot of fun. The Intuit Dome looked like a pretty good place to host. I mean, Steve Ballmer has just put so much back into the Clippers organization. And they look like they're having some fun over there. Little recap. Dunk contest seems like it needs the most work. 3-point contest, I'm pretty excited about it for next year, you know, with the whole hype from Steph. And yeah, like I said the other time, I don't like how it feels like they're kind of forcing the rosters, you know, to put people in there just because it balances out the team. That's one of my main things I think I don't like about the new format. And also, Adam Silver is probably the worst commissioner in all of sports. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to give you a little recap of the NBA All-Star Weekend. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.